Yeah, it's like it must be some sort of automatic crash. You hit 45 minutes or we're at 22 minutes and everything crashed. We're going to start again. That's crazy. Oh, man.
Must be too much excitement.
This time. Did you
They're
remember
just
to
too.
save it this time?
I did. I took my
Okay.
time. I didn't panic.
You saved it, so we at least have it.
We have part 1, and it's going to be an IGTV.
Don't
It's
you
probably.
love how fast they're coming back in though? We're already
I love
back
it.
at 30.
You
Yes.
guys are great. I'm so
Sorry,
sorry.
guys.
And,
Okay, so
yeah, I don't have the questions though. I don't think they
the
saved the time.
question that they asked, that I just saw that you popped up before you went flickered, was can you make a 5 without answering all the questions? And you can get a 5. And actually, if it's a harder question, you just need less points. So it kind of is, you're not going to know when you take your test how many points you have to get.
Yeah.
You just know that you need to answer as much as you can with as much correct information that you can, but don't freak out.
So what about, let me ask you this, since you've been a grader, what about when students contradict themselves?
If you contradict yourself, you lose your point. So if you say that the data proves that pH is going to increase in this environment, and then as you're describing and explaining how the pH increases, you tell me that the pH then decreases. You've now contradicted yourself. So even if you've gotten that point, now you've lost that point. And the same thing applies for if you say something wrong and then you make it correct. It's still a contradiction and you don't prove that you know the biology of it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you can lose. That's the only time you'll lose a point, because you've contradicted. But other than that, it is all adding points. You start with 0, and then we count on our fingers and we count up how many points you have, and then we go from there. And it's usually we count on one hand.
It's very fancy. All right. Is there a possibility that there will be math on this test? Okay. Yes, there is. They have told you that this is a paper and pencil test, meaning you can do the math. You can use a calculator, but a calculator is not required this year. And when you express your math in an answer, you're going to enter it digitally, exactly like you would on a calculator. So parentheses, your division bar, probably going to be something like ratios, but it could really be anything as long as they give you enough information. Yeah.
And as a reminder, chi-square was on the test before calculators were allowed. So it could be a chi-square. I don't think it will, but it could be.
This is a popular question. You actually just went over this in your
Oh no, she's flashing again. Are you there? Talk. Are you there? I lost her again. Okay. So the negative and positive control. A negative control has to do with the fact that it's going to, you expect there to be no results. Versus a positive control, you expect a specific result. And so with that, I would actually, there's a beautiful graph that I have on my story that really kind of breaks it down for you. Overall, a good example of a positive control would be if we're looking at like bacteria, okay? And you have a resistant bacteria, growing it in the presence of the antibiotic that's resistant to, you would expect it to grow. So that's a positive control. And I think that she needs to cut it unless something fixes, because I can see her, but I can't hear her. So I don't know if she's going to cut us out. You're not going to cut it? Okay, so you'll just feed me the questions and I'll keep talking? Does that work? I'll talk. You give me questions.